That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. And thing sucks.
Yeah. 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Children of the Corn. How are you all feeling tonight? Is everyone staying safe? Staying loose? What's going on out there? Let me go over to this. There we go. All right, what's going on out there? I gotta tell you, tonight's show almost didn't happen. I was gonna take a break this week. I was like, you know what? I got too much going on. I just had too much going on. I haven't had time. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I haven't had time to go through the shanty shit. I haven't cared this week. I don't know what Teal is up to. I guess she's still sexually harassing police officers and soliciting money from her followers. Gail's still a nut. I don't know. I just had too much shit. Let me give you just an example of how this is. If it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. This is what's been happening to me. This is just an example of my day today. So, like most diligent citizens, I've been doing my part, doing my best to stay home as much as possible, not go out. Self-isolation, social distancing, all that good stuff, which isn't really a big, I know people joke about this, but for me personally, it's really not a big change in my lifestyle because other than work and hanging out at home, I don't do a whole lot these days. But nonetheless, even like little runs out to the stores or things through the week, I've been trying not to do. Staying home, staying healthy, following the rules. But there comes a time you got to go out. You got to replenish the supplies. I'm not a hoarder. I'm not one of these, but you need groceries. You need stuff like that. So today was my day. I do it all in one run in a couple hours. So it's all done. It's over with. I'm not out lingering around, driving around. I just do it one shot. I get my cigarettes for the week. I get my, whatever. I get it all done in one afternoon. So I go out today. I get my cigarettes. I do my stuff. Now we got to go back in time a little bit here, folks. If you remember about a month and a half, almost 2 months ago, I said I'd worked all that overtime. I was banking some of the money, and I was looking at getting a car and maybe putting some of that money towards a new computer, right? So I've decided the car is obviously a priority. I still want to upgrade my computer and stuff, but the car is going to be coming first. But I've been kind of like procrastinating on it because the car that I have, the vehicle that I have now, actually still runs okay. I'm just one of those guys that try to get every last bit out of it. I got a couple cars lined up that I'm looking at. I think I'm going to pull the trigger on, but I've been trying to get the most out of the vehicle I have now. And it still runs fine and everything. And I was debating whether putting a few bucks into it or just going ahead and getting another vehicle, whatever, right? So long story short, I noticed that the rear tire on the passenger side was starting to get wore down pretty good. And I'm like, well, I should really replace that tire. It wasn't horrible, but then I thought, should I put the money into it or not? So long story short, I'm out running around today. And I noticed it's a little low on air, and I'm pumping it up. And I noticed that it's starting to split on the side a bit. I'm like, shit, that's not a good thing. But I don't want to go buy a brand new tire and stuff. So I get on the phone. I call this local place that sells used tires. They have one in stock. I'm like, perfect. I'm going to go. I make the arrangements for a local garage to swap it because I got to put it on the rim and everything. I can't do it myself. So they'll do it tomorrow morning. Everything's perfect. I jump on the 401, which is a major multi-lane highway here in Canada. And I'm not 5 miles from my fucking on-ramp, and the tire blows on the way to get another tire. I shit you not. So out of the blue, I decide, I'll go get a tire this afternoon. I'll get it all lined up. I'll go, and on my way, I blow a fucking tire. So, of course, that put everything off. I had to get CAA, give me a tow, make arrangements. I borrowed another vehicle, so in the morning I can go get and pick up the tire. Because by the time that I got a tow and everything, the place where I was going to get the tire was ready to shut down. I didn't have time to go. So I'm going to have to get up early tomorrow, go run, do all that shit. But it's just been that kind of week, folks. And so I haven't had a whole lot of time. So tonight's going to be a short one. We're going to get right to the bone. We're cutting right through the grizzle. And we're getting right to the good stuff because our resident chimp monkey, Vonhelton, has not given us one, not two, but 3 gems to check out this week. Of course, the only one I've seen is where he's pushing his fucking, drug-deprived mother back in front of the camera to try to support some of the lies and tales he's been spinning. But other than that, I haven't checked them out. So we're going to look at that one. We're going to take a look at I'm Right, number 50, which I'm going to place back. I have no idea what it's about, but he's probably not right. I mean, this is a man, 56 years old, can only point to 50 times in his life where he may have been right. And we all know that most of those times he has not been right. That aside, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We're going to check it out. And then finally, I see he's put out a new gem. I don't know what has taken him so long, but he's going to give us the truth about COVID-19. Now, again, folks, disclaimer, just like the last few that I've done with this kind of overarching theme, listen to medical professionals. I know it goes without saying with people like Vonhelton, but, don't listen to people on YouTube. Don't listen to rumors on Facebook. I know there's a lot of unknowns, so a lot of people are speculating on this and that and all this kind of stuff. Listen, this is not the time to be a hero. Just listen to the fucking medical professionals. This is the best shot we have. And the best shot we have is just staying away from each other. All right? That's all you can really do right now. But anyways, I'm not here to preach about that. We're here to get into a little old school health. Now, listen, last week I said that, we had not looked at Cobra for a bit, so I gave everybody a good fix of Cobra. So tonight, for the thirsty Vonhelton people that just can't get enough, that feel that they've been deprived of that old school A-grade Lowell's milk, tonight we're yanking the teats. We're going to get a few more drops out of it. We're going to take a look. I know some of it's hard to watch because, let's be honest, it's went beyond funny with Vonhelton a long time ago. He's just a disgusting person, but we're going to try to have some levity. But first things first, and this is what I've been waiting for. He's going to have us a little sip, a little sippy sip. I don't know what you guys have been doing to pass the time. I'm actually still working too, so I'm considered an essential service, apparently. But besides that, what are you guys doing to pass the time? I'm actually surprised that more people aren't online. There's a bunch of us were talking. We figured the online would be flooded. It is with streaming and stuff, but not like people coming to Hangouts or Discords or anything like that. I've been looking around. It's been pretty quiet, actually. If anything, I think that kind of traffic has went down. But, of course, that's just my observation. Let's check. Oh, drinking some Crown Royal. Oh, yeah, I got a little bit of that as well. Kicking around somewhere. Oh, that is ice cold and refreshing. I like it. I know beer is kind of like baseball teams. Everybody's got their favorite, talk shit about the other. I've just recently started drinking Heineken. I like it. I like it just because it's light. I like the lighter beers just for sipping and drinking. There's a time and a place for the others, but just for hanging out like this is what I like. I'm not a heavy drinker. That was a double sip. That's for the haters right there. Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor. All right, let's not waste time. Like I said, this is going to be a short one tonight, folks. This is not going to be a 3 or 4 hour hangout. We're just we're trimming the fat. We're getting right to it. See what we can do. So I don't want to waste any time here. I know you thirsty fuckers. I know what you want. Let's kick it off with a little symphony of destruction.
You take a mortal man and put him in control. Watch him become a god. Watch people's heads a-roll. 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 Just like a Pied Piper, red rats through the streets. Dance like marionettes, swing to the symphony of destruction. Acting like a robot.
Nailed it.
Its metal brain corrodes. You try to take its pulse before the head explodes. 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 Just like Pied Piper, led rats through the streets. Dance like marionettes, swing to the symphony. Just like Pied Piper, led rats through the streets. Dance like marionettes, swing to the symphony. Swing to the symphony of destruction. The earth starts to rumble. World powers fall. A warrant for the heavens. A peaceful man stands tall. Tall. Just like Pied Piper, led rats through the streets. Dance like marionettes, swing to the symphony. Just like Pied Piper, led rats through the streets. Dance like marionettes, swing to the symphony. Swing to the symphony of destruction.
All right. Vaughn is rocking out. He's setting up. Okay, so the first one we got on our cavalcade of cringe is going to be an interview with Ma Helton Part 2, or Ma Helton Speaks Part 2 or some shit. But this is actually the third video. So if you back up a little bit, if you'll remember, the first one is out of the blue. He made this weird video proving that he was filling his mother's freezer, which he doesn't make money, so it was her money. But I guess he carried it out from the truck or something. But anyways, it was kind of a weird video, but it all put it in context when Cousin Larry came on and kind of did his thing. So apparently he was trying to convince his mother, who is on a downward spiral into dementia, and we're not completely confident, let's put it that way, that she's getting her medication as she should be. Trying to convince her that I guess it was Larry and them, the family that came over, that was stealing her food. And of course, video number 2 was after Larry came on and kind of spilt the beans, or spilt the tea, as they say, across the pond. And he was trying to counter, I guess, the things that Larry said. But, you know, what was actually sad and kind of funny about it is because her dementia. I mean, we're talking about a woman who had to ask twice if her parents were still alive. At 94 years old, had to ask twice. And actually, the funny part is actually backed up one of Larry's story about the missing medication. And then she says, well, yeah, they blamed you. And then it showed back up, which is exactly what Larry said. Now, listen, I've said it before. I don't know this Larry guy. Take, you know, everything with a grain of salt. As far as updates, I don't know. I haven't contacted him since the last time I gave you guys an update. Last I heard, he's going back to court. What is it? In April sometime. Now, originally it was supposed to be a date in March. That was to do with them taking the kids. So I guess he's like defense, right? He's the defendant in that, trying to plead his case. And I don't know what happens if there's another date set or something. And then the second court date that was in April had to do, it was actually Vaughn going to court trying to get power of attorney over his mom because, you know, he's a douchebag. But anyways, that aside, we've covered that lots. What last thing I heard is because everything that's going on, these court dates have been pushed back. And he, as far as I know, he still doesn't have the children. That last I heard. And that April now is when he's going for the kids. The other date, I have no idea. So I just wanted to clear that up. So for whatever reason, Vonhelton felt that it was necessary to put the camera on his 94-year-old dementia-stricken mother once again. Now, it's interesting, folks, because as he's telling the story, remember, we know he's made at least 3 videos about this with her, aside from whatever personal conversations they've had. And even in this 3rd video, she is in La-La Land like she's hearing this for the first time. Why? Because she's slipping into dementia. And I'm not trying to make light of that. That's a fact. So, anyways, without further ado, let's get into it.
We'll be right back after these messages. All right. Anyways, like I was saying, Larry is saying that I'm stealing your money. Am I stealing your money?
No,
Have I ever stole your money?
no.
Oh, how would she know? I mean, it's not that you're stealing her money in front of her face. It's that you're siphoning it off. There's a few interesting reveals in here, folks, because remember before, I explained Vonhelton's mentality on this. I said when he talks about his father's inheritance, he's talking about the inheritance that was given to Alice, and Vaughn just feels entitled to part of that money. He actually confirms that in this. Now, don't get me wrong, she seems to go along with it. So if that's their arrangement, that's their arrangement. But I told you guys, there ain't no inheritance. There's no, Vonhelton is just has some arbitrary amount of money that's in his mom's account that he feels he's entitled to siphon out of it. And guaranteed, she doesn't know that he's been like spending $360 on fucking Skyrim online and shit, right? Again, that's their business, but I'm just putting it in perspective here. Moving forward.
Who did the bank put in charge of your money? Me or Larry?
You,
Okay, now when Jim stole money out of there, has anything been done about it?
well, it wasn't in the, some of it was not even in there. It was laying open.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. They got all the money out of the closet though, right? And then they went to your bank account and cleaned it out too. And
Look, she's listening to this. Like she's this is like the first time she's hearing this. She's just believing it because Vaughn's saying it. Remember, Vonhelton claimed that she had started at 2.5 million and ended up by the end like over $6 million in the double wide trailer in her safety deposit box. Like, does anybody for a second believe that the Hiltons were just sitting on over $2 million sitting in the closet? And like Vaughn would not have his fingers into that he'd be eating fucking schwans out of a can? Well, maybe I could see Vaughn as a millionaire still living like a fucking complete slob and pig, but come on. Let's be real. I'm going to try to keep my mouth shut a little bit and let this play. It's hard.
And as far as you know right now, nothing's been done, right?
Well, no.
And your jewelry out of your safety deposit box is missing, and nothing's been done about that as far as you know?
As far as I know.
Okay.
I didn't give nobody permission to go into nothing of mine.
And Jim Frost had to return the safety deposit keys. The bank threatened to call the sheriff if he didn't turn them in, so he had to go down there and turn the keys in. Do you remember that?
I know there was a mix-up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has no idea what Vaughn's talking about right now.
Absolutely. He had to turn the keys in. Okay, so the only person that's really guilty of stealing your money is who? Jim Frost and Larry Frost, right? Because Larry Frost has your SS card, and Jim Frost has the money out.
We'll have to see who signed to take money out.
Well, see, here's the thing.
See, she doesn't even know who's in charge of doing what right now. It's because she realized that she was slipping into this. And I guess someone said she's 92 years old, whatever. I'll tell you right now, my 94-year-old grandma, knocking on wood, but she's hung on to her faculty. She knows what the hell's going on. This is a woman that is suffering. She has onset dementia, Alzheimer's, something's going on. She's on medication for this, which Vaughn has been accused of not exactly looking after. 8 months without a doctor's appointment or a reevaluation to get her prescriptions filled. That's neglect. That's my opinion. Again, I don't have any say or sway or influence on the situation. Just my opinion. But just keep that in mind. This is a woman that every time he tells her this story, it's for the first time. So he's just leading her, right? It's just like, anyways, I don't have to explain this. You know how this works. Again, I'm just trying to keep my mouth shut and keep this rolling.
The bank put me in charge of your money. Okay.
Oh, well, you handle it then.
That's right. And I was until your family intervened. Okay. That's the problem. And that's why the bank is mad too. And the bank put me in charge of your finances because the Frosts were going up there and literally taking money out of your account.
Ooh.
And see, Jim had the safety deposit box keys. He was cleaning out your safety deposit box.
Do I have anything in there now?
No, not much. I took some of Daddy's money and put in there. But
it's our money.
Well, it's mine and your money. Yes, I agree. But now your family doesn't agree.
Now, quote, our money, because it's her money, but she supports him. Just to put that. And again, this is the first time she's ever heard about this, right? She's just like, she doesn't even seem that concerned. You'd think, according to him, that there's, quote, millions of dollars in jewelry. You think if you just learned you got wiped out, you'd be a little more upset. But she's continuing to make lunch and carry on. Because it's one part, she has no idea what's going on. And second part, she knows that Vonhelton is a fucking liar, right? She's just humoring this. And she's kind of, like we said, she's not walking the line here.
Your family says that it's their money because you are a Frost. And so therefore the money belongs to them.
Actually, I don't believe they've ever claimed that. Maybe within this little family fight that they're having, maybe that was said. But from what I was under the impression was that this Jim Frost was kind of executor of the state looking after things for her. They weren't taking the money. Maybe they have evidence they were. Again, I don't know this Larry guy. But I just want to set straight. I don't remember, at least with my conversations, everything going on online, that we know that accusation was ever put out there, or that was ever even an argument that they were actually taking the money. I'm not aware of that.
Is that true?
No, that's wrong.
Well, that's what they're claiming.
Well, that's a lie.
Okay, but it is your money and my money, correct?
I'm a Helton.
Okay.
Where are they getting that? It's their money.
Well, they're saying that because you're a Frost. They say you're a Frost, and so that it's their money.
They're going to go all through the country and take the Frost
I guess.
Away from people?
I guess. That's what they said.
Stupid. That's
They're on Facebook right now posting that this land belongs to them because you're a Frost, that the money belongs to them because you're a Frost, and that everything belongs
the money that paid for this land was Hilton.
That's right. I agree.
Alice and
Urban Hilton, right. But they're saying that because you're a Frost, this land belongs to them, the money belongs to them, everything belongs to them because you are a Frost.
I ain't been a Frost for how many years now?
About 70 years. About 70 years.
Don't go too far.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not a Hilton, a Frost thing. It's a Frost Hilton thing. Because my husband and I worked for the money
and saved it up. That's right. Correct.
And they can't say it's a Frost.
Well, that's what they're saying on Facebook.
Well, they're lying because the money came from Hilton and Frost.
All right. Who do you want to be in charge of your finances?
Well, you are.
That's right. And who do you want to be your guardian?
You.
All right, then. Because they're saying that I shouldn't be your guardian. Wow. Even though I'm your son, they're saying I shouldn't be your guardian because they keep telling the whole world that I'm stealing your money and that I'm stealing this and I'm stealing that and that I'm abusing you. Listen, Mom, they're telling everybody in Oneida and everybody in Manchester that I'm physically assaulting you and abusing you. And now people in Manchester and Oneida think I'm actually dangerous and are wanting to kick my ass because they're saying that I'm beating you up and shit.
Oh, baloney.
Am I beating you up?
Why, no.
Am I assaulting you in any way?
No.
Am I stealing your money?
No.
Have I stole anything from you?
Not that I know of.
All right, then. Okay. Because, see, and I have to do this, but see, I have.
Just the best years of her life. I mean, aside from that, but I like how he spins stuff when he asks these questions. Because again, hey, maybe that's an accusation. I know that was put out there. They wondered if there was maybe abuse and things like that. And I know Andrea said some stuff about him hitting the kids, which I actually don't buy that. I don't think that he beat the kids with a belt or anything like that. I don't, even though he's a fuck up, you got to give credit where credit's due. I've never heard of any evidence or anything like that he actually beats the kids. But what Vaughn doesn't understand is neglect is abuse, right? Like he's always equates abuse to hitting. So if you say you abuse your kids, which means you neglect the needs of your children, he thinks that you're saying he physically hits them. And since he doesn't physically hit them, that's not abuse. He's not abusing them, right? He doesn't get that there's definitely been charges of neglect in terms of looking after his mother, which I think are founded. But that aside, my opinion aside, I don't think the crux of their argument is that he's physically hitting the mother. I just wanted to point that out.
To do this because they're out there telling the whole damn world that I'm abusing you.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. They're getting on the internet and telling the whole world, literally the whole world, that I am abusing you, Mom.
Well, that needs to stop now.
It does. I agree.
He's never said that, I don't think, personally to me.
Well, yeah, they've never said any of this to her or anything like this. This is the first time she's heard this, right? That would be like me coming up to you and saying, your mother just told me that you were hatched by space aliens. And if you believe that that's what she said, you say, well, no, that's crazy, right? Well, see, she's a liar, right? That's the game he's playing. She doesn't know if this is true or not. She's just going on the assumption of what he's telling her. And one, it's the first time she's heard it. And two, she's she's going down this. We've talked about this, folks. She's slipping into dementia, right? So every day is a new conversation with her. This is a woman who couldn't remember the name of the last relative that visited her, right? Just hours before the last video. So just to put it in perspective here.
Hasn't said it to you because he knows better. Well, he knows you'll give him an earful if he does.
Well, he's lying if he does.
Well, of course.
My husband and I were married for years.
Yeah.
And my husband didn't abuse me because he knew better.
Exactly.
And you know better.
Well, exactly.
I take care of Alice.
That's right. Well, we're gentlemen anyway. We're not supposed to do that, right?
But when I went in business, I said I was going in business for Alice.
For Alice, right. Daddy's money was daddy's money, and your business money was your money, right?
Well, when it was put together.
When it was put together.
all
Right,
mine.
right. But I'm saying before it was put together, it was it was Dad's money and your money. And but yeah, they're saying that I'm ripping you off and that
that's why.
and see, and the sad part about it is that the bank could step in at this point and tell people what's really going on, but the bank doesn't want to get involved. They want to stay neutral. But
well, what the hell is it the bank's business to go around and talk to people in Manchester and at the local fucking gas station and clear hey, we're the bank. We're just here to clear Vonhelton's name in local gossip. Like what? Like this guy literally has never left the schoolyard, like with his mentality. Like it's just absolutely. He never ceases to amaze me in that regard.
considering the amount of money that we're talking about, I don't think the bank can stay neutral for very long.
Well, neutral to who? They're not involved in any. That's the whole thing. If all this was going on, why aren't they in court over that? Right? If he thinks he has such compelling evidence and that the bank knows and they have records of people illegally withdrawing money and like we're talking in the order of millions of dollars, according to him, that's been stolen. Why the hell are they messing around in court with the things that they're messing around with? Why aren't they in on that? Oh, maybe because it's bullshit? I don't know, just throwing that out there.
But the bank knows what's going on. The bank knows that they're the ones.
How much money right now is involved?
Over $6.5 million. Yeah. Yeah, over $6.5 million. That's why I'm saying the bank cannot stay neutral in this.
Now the wheels are spinning right now in her head because she knows that number just sounds astronomically retarded. Even in her state, she knows that. Look at the look on her face. She's like trying to figure, like, what did you just say? How much money?
This situation
Not
at all.
really.
No, not with that kind of money.
Stay neutral.
No.
I'll have to come forward and tell everybody that it's wrong.
You're telling everybody right now. That's why I'm recording this.
Well,
you're telling everybody.
I have never stole nothing from nobody in my life.
They're not talking about you. They're saying I'm stealing it.
No.
Have I ever stole anything from you?
Well, I know. What would you steal, eh?
We're 7.5 minutes into this video, folks, and she's already confused on the narrative. She's already confused of who's getting blamed for what. Like this is what I'm saying. 7.5 minutes in, and he already has to correct her on the narrative because she's starting to lose. She's losing the plot here. Just let her make her fucking sandwich, dude.
Well, the point is, the irony of this is that it's my money. It's my inheritance. Why would I steal my own inheritance? It doesn't make any damn sense.
It ain't just yours.
It's our money. It's yours and mine. Right.
Well,
exactly.
And
I like how she has to keep correcting him, right?
you have got, I've got other children too.
Well, my grandkids or my kids. Yeah. We got to get them back too, by the way. But yeah.
She doesn't even remember that her daughter is dead right now. This is her mindset.
So the point is, though, they're saying that I'm robbing you blind, that I'm wasting your money, I'm spending your money on frivolous stuff, and I'm not paying the bills. That's one of the things they keep saying. That's why Larry Frost has your Social Security card and your PIN number right now, is because you told him that to keep the card away from me. Did you tell him that? Did you tell him I was stealing your money?
No.
Did you give him authority to have your Social Security card and your PIN number?
As far as I don't know, honey.
See, that's
because you're confusing the hell out of her right now with bullshit. And she's trying to decipher in her mind what is fantasy and what's reality, and you're confusing her. And what makes me sick about this all is he's doing it for no other reason than to post on the internet for a bunch of nobodies that don't matter to anything. This is not about court. This is not about pursuing any kind of justice or trying to get the money back. This is just, he is doing this just to save face to a bunch of people that he doesn't even know or like on YouTube and the internet. That it boggles my mind.
thing you forget. I know, and it's a pain. But he claims that you told him to keep the card away from me, that I was stealing your money.
No, I never. Why would I do that when I ain't even seen the card?
Well, see, that's the thing. I ain't never seen the card either. He's the only one that's seen the card. He's the only one that's got the pin.
Why would I do that when I haven't even seen the card? That doesn't even... What? Like I said, she's very confused. She's trying to keep up with the story.
Number. Seems to me like he's the one that's got the money, not me. But anyway, that's the story going around, is that he says that you told him to keep that card away from me, that I was squandering your money, and that I wasn't paying the bills. Who's been paying the bills? Before Larry grabbed your card, who was paying the bills?
You was, if
That's
I
right.
wasn't here.
That's right. When you weren't here, I was paying the bills, wasn't I?
Yeah.
All right. And the bank knows that too. And see, that's the beauty of this whole thing. The bank records will prove that I was paying the bills before your family got involved. So, but see, the bank don't want to get involved. They want to stay neutral. And I
Why do they want to go and say?
They don't need to get involved. You can go in, you and your mom can go in and get printouts of bank records that show the withdrawals and all the activity. That's it. And then if you actually pursue it in court, that's your evidence. The banks do not have to go out on the fucking four corners of Manchester with a bullhorn and declare that you're fucking innocent. Like, what fucking world does this guy live in? I know Mandela effect and all that. Golly.
Things it's not true.
I don't know.
Honey, them's all lies.
Well, I agree. They are all lies. But see, the problem is that
I've never
It's almost unbelievable. The whole story, isn't it, Alice?
failed to pay my bills.
I know that. But
And
I've
why
never.
would they even say I was?
Well, they're blaming me. See, they're saying I'm the one that ain't paying the bills. That's what they're doing.
Oh, baloney.
Yeah, well, it is baloney. But anyway, I wanted to get with you on this money situation because they're running around all over the internet saying that I'm squandering your money, that I'm stealing from you, and all this shit. And I wanted to set the record straight.
Well, maybe they want what I've got.
Yeah, they do.
Well, honey,
absolutely do.
It ain't going to happen.
They're on Facebook saying that because you're a frost, that this all belongs to them.
No, it don't.
Well, that's what they're saying on Facebook.
They never worked my husband and I worked the money out that pulled this.
Exactly.
And they're not even considering him and his children.
Well, he's a Helton, see, so he don't matter. See, that's how they think in their mind. Since he's a Helton, he don't matter, see.
Oh.
This is some kind of feud that I'm not even aware of, going back years and years and years before even Floyd and Lily Faye. And apparently there was bad blood between the Heltons and Frosts years and years and years ago.
I never knew it if they was.
Well, I wasn't aware of it too until just recently. But apparently, yeah, years and years ago, there was some kind of dust up between the Heltons and Frosts, and the Frosts ain't never forgot it, and they never forgave it. So,
well, honey, I didn't know nothing about that.
I didn't know anything about it either.
And we got together when we married.
Right.
We both started saving our money and putting it to good use,
now,
buying property and everything.
Okay, now
remember.
Right, I do remember you buying property. Now, did you start saving money before the war or after the war or during the war? Do you remember? I know you had war bonds. I know that.
Well, even when the war was on, I think your dad and I maybe saved some.
Yeah, I think you had war bonds, didn't
Yeah.
you? Yeah, I believe you did.
Yeah, we had war bonds,
right?
Because we wanted to help with
the war, right?
war.
With the GIs, right?
I don't know how much. If I had to say it now, I believe. I'm going to use the word believe. I believe that people, when I would go to Hamilton or anywhere, come into my home and search through my whole home.
Well, I can pretty much vouch for that because that's the way it's looking. Is that people have been pilfering through your shit. They've been doing that to you they were doing that to you years ago, even when we lived in Ohio.
But
so I don't doubt
but
that.
That's not right.
Well, of course it's not right. It's theft.
If I catch them in, they will get the law called on them.
The law ain't going to do shit. You don't think I've contacted Manchester Police and Kentucky State Police? Of course I have. They wouldn't even bother to send a cruiser out. They kept telling me to go to the county attorney's office. And then the county attorney's office looks at me like a deer in headlights and says, why the hell are you here? We only handle government cases here. And so, you know, it's basically they're telling me to go pound sand is what it is. They won't do anything. Jim Frost stole $6.5 million of your money, and the police won't do a damn thing. He should be in jail right now, and he's walking around free. Larry Frost made a death threat to me. You think the police would arrest him? Fuck no, the police ain't going to arrest him because the police are incompetent.
Anybody hear him?
The whole world heard him threaten me. Yes, the whole world. And because he put it on the internet. And so, you know, the Manchester police and Kentucky State Police, as far as I'm concerned, are corrupt and inept because they can't even arrest them. They can't even arrest one person. Come on, Mom.
Well,
right? They're inept. They're corrupt. They won't do their job. They won't make any arrests. They won't do what's right. Jim Frost has got all of your money and your jewelry, and God only knows what else he's taken, probably farm equipment and everything else. I know Jim Frost has my daddy's gun that Daddy left for me. I know that.
I don't know if he does or not.
Well, he probably sold it. Yeah, he probably sold it. You're probably right.
Well, you might as well, if he did, you might as well forget.
No, he'll have to compensate me for it. If he sold it, he'll have to compensate me for it. That's just the way it goes. And that was a one-of-a-kind rifle. It was a clip-fed bolt-action 22, and those are very rare by today's standards. Okay, so that rifle's probably worth...
Well, it's something that your dad gave you.
Exactly.
Where did they say they got it?
They said you told them they could have it. That's what you...
I did?
That's what they said. They said you told them that they could have it. And I'm like, she would never say something like that. Never, ever.
Not one that
one that Dad's given to me. No,
nothing that your dad gave either one of us. I'd never give.
No, of course. But that's what they're claiming. You know, well, she.
Well, geez, Vaughn, if your daddy left you a gun, why is it over at your mom's? And why haven't you tried to pursue this? Like, everything just sounds so baloney. Like, just. It really bothers me to watch this. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to keep quiet and watch this. God damn.
He said we could have that. Okay.
Well,
whatever.
Honey, if it was one that valuable, I'd have never gave it away.
Well, I don't have obviously I don't have a blue book in front of me, but if I had to guess, it'd probably be worth, I don't know, about $5,000-$6,000 by now.
Oh.
Easily. Maybe even more than that.
Well,
because it was a clip fed 22 bolt action, and those are kind of rare.
I remember the gun because
it had a white diamond on the side. You can't miss it. It's the only gun we had that had a white diamond on the side, and Dad left it to me. I've got a picture of Dad holding it, giving it to me.
Yeah,
and so I can prove Dad gave it to me because he's in the picture, getting ready to hand it to me. You know, so
well. I would never give nothing that valuable away.
Well, I agree. But that's what they're claiming. They're claiming, oh, well, she gave that to us. And see, that's what they do about a lot of that. And, you know, oh, well, she gave it to us. She okayed it. You know, we're allowed to come here and take stuff out of the freezer and stuff because it's our stuff because your mama's a Frost and we're a Frost.
They shouldn't have their stuff in my freezer.
Well, their stuff ain't in your freezer. I'm talking about my stuff that I bought for you. They're coming and taking it, claiming it's yours, and saying that because it's yours, they can take it.
See, this is where I'm calling fucking bullshit. You know, first of all, Vaughn didn't fill that freezer. Where would he have got the money? Well, from Ma's bank account. So Ma paid for it. He fills the freezer, and he's feeding his family out of that freezer. But he's trying to use that. Not that and I'm not saying that he's stealing the food. Like, he's probably... it's probably a given that he's eating out of the freezer. But I think that he's just manipulating the mom into because remember, he's going to court to get power of attorney. He's acting like he's already like executor of her estate. That's not true. Remember, before she started slipping, she is the one that appointed this Jim Frost and these people to look after things because she didn't trust her son, right? You got to remember that. Again, just putting it in perspective here.
That's what they're claiming.
No.
Well, that's what they're claiming. That's exactly what they're claiming. They're on Facebook saying that shit. Larry Frost Facebook, James Arnold Frost Facebook, Jim Frost Facebook, whatever it is. I don't know how he's listed. I blocked him as soon as I seen his trash talk. I blocked all of them as soon as I seen their trash talk. I subsequently closed my account out too and created a new account. Had to, because I got tired of the trash talk.
Well, honey, I don't remember ever giving them anything out of my home.
Well, I agree. But see, they're claiming that you did. They're saying that.
I guess I gave them everything.
Apparently, that's what they're saying.
Well,
But as far as you know, the only one that has your money is Jim Frost and Larry Frost. I don't have your money, as far as you know, correct?
Yeah, as far as I know.
All right.
They're the ones that have.
Because that's what they're doing. They're running around telling the whole world that I'm stealing your money, I'm squandering your money. And see, like I said, the bank could step in and stop this shit, but they ain't going to do it because they want to remain neutral. And I kind of understand the bank. I kind of can see where the bank would want to stay neutral, but
well,
the point is that they really can't. We're talking about a lot of money here. We're talking about people slandering me and libeling me and defaming my character. And so the bank is going to have to step in at some point and say, hey, he has been paying the bills. He has been paying the taxes until the Frost family and the Combs family stepped in and started interfering. Because up until then, I was taking care of everything. It was getting dealt with.
Well, who is now?
Larry Frost currently has your Social Security card and your PIN number. Jim Frost currently has my inheritance money, your retirement money. And that's where we're at right now.
Well,
in other words, we don't have a dime. They've got all of it.
Well, have you been to court with it?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Because I didn't know all of this. I didn't know that they had everything up there.
They pretty much got everything, yeah. They pretty much got everything.
Well, now, I don't think Sylvia would have anything.
You mean Sarah?
Sarah
would
Combs. Have anything to do with that.
Well, she did. She was the one that closed out your account with me and opened up a new account with Ron's name on it, her husband's name on it. And I have the documentation to prove that.
Well, now I remember, but it wasn't supposed to be closed out.
Well, it was, because when I went back up to the bank, they had closed it. Yes, buddy. Did
Did you reopen it?
I can't. Once it's closed, it's closed. But they didn't close. They can't close my account, thankfully. So my account's still open. But everything else up there is closed.
Mine's closed.
Yeah, all of it's closed. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. They had to. Every time they turned around, here comes a Frost saying, we want money out of that, or we want to see this, or we want to do that. And the bank finally got tired of it and just shut everything down. And that's straight from the bank manager's own mouth.
Well, I'm going to go up and talk to him.
We should talk to the bank manager again.
I'm going to talk to him.
Yeah.
Well, if it's that bad up there, we may have to ask them to let us transfer it somewhere else.
Well, you just what we got to do is we got to put it back the way it was, transferred to my account, and then that way I can pay the bills and everything will get took care of.
Did you hear that motherfucker stutter? As soon as you said move it somewhere else. No, we need to move it the way it was back into my account. That's what we got to do. We got to move everything into my account. See, he is spinning a narrative, which the accounts are probably still there. They're probably not even closed, but she has no idea. So he's just bullshitting any fucking story. Now he set them up as the villain. You see how slick this motherfucker is? And now it's like, oh no, we don't need to transfer it to another bank. We just need to put it all in my account. You catch that?
Because now this little bit of money of Dad's ain't going to last forever. It's only going to last a few more months.
Well, how much have you got of mine?
I ain't got none of yours no more. Yours is all gone. They only left a few $1,000s in the safety deposit box, honey. That's all. There was $20,000 in
your money's all gone. The money that's left is my inheritance. Is basically what he's saying right now.
Checking account, and there was like $4,000 or $5,000 in the safety deposit box.
And they took it out.
Well, I used what was left to pay bills. Okay, all your bills was paid with that money, and then I took Daddy's money and put it in a safety deposit box, and that's where it's at right now. And that's where we stand right now. We've only got a few $1,000 to pay bills.
He left it for me.
Well, he left it for you, but in lieu of me. So whatever. It's still, like you said before, it's our money.
He left it to you, but in lieu of me. What the hell does that? I mean, I know what he means, but you hear this motherfucker? This is exactly what I said. I said, this is the inheritance he's talking about. He thinks that he is entitled to a chunk of her retirement money. That's it. There is no inheritance. And he's been siphoning out of her fucking account, rationalizing it to himself that it's his money. He got caught months ago. He said, notice he never mentions the $700 fucking phone bill, right? From not paying that for months. Anyways, moving right along.
Mine and yours, it belongs to us. Just like the retirement money is also my inheritance money. It belongs to both of us, which leads me to my next point, is that they have no right having that money because it's my inheritance money and it's your retirement money, and both of us have to have it. So
when did they get that?
well, Larry took you to Corbin and had your check switched over to a little green card. And now he has possession of that card and he has the PIN number. And I don't think he's illegally allowed to have that. But
well, I'll go down and tell them to void that and get me a new one.
Exactly. Well, we'll get it converted back to a check. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to get it converted back to a check. Because, see, he's got the PIN number, too.
Well, he wants it back to a check so he can just go and drop them into his fucking account. That's why. Oh, I'll go to town and cash that, Ma.
To that card. Okay, and I know that's illegal. He ain't allowed to have that PIN. The only one allowed to have your PIN number is you. He ain't allowed to have your PIN number. I'm sure of that shit. So we'll just get it converted back to a check.
Well, have you asked him for it?
No.
Okay.
Because I know better. Yeah, no, he won't give it. So anyway, but I just wanted to get this money thing out of the way because they're accusing me of stealing your money and spending your money on junk and all this, and I'm just so sick of it. And so I wanted to get your word out there, your opinion out there, so that it could be dealt with.
Huh.
So
well, honey, wrong is wrong.
Absolutely.
And if anybody is going into an account of mine, are doing wrong.
Absolutely.
And they ain't got no business of going in there knowing what's in there.
And the bank agrees. And the bank agrees with it, but that's the point.
I love how Vaughn's cup needs its own little bowl, right? His 92-year-old mother, suffering from dementia, can still handle a cup of tea in the morning. But Vaughn still needs a training bowl. Just throwing that out there.
The point is, the bank needs
Have they been up there and checked in all my stuff?
Not lately. But I think the bank needs to get involved. I think the bank needs to get involved because the bank can prove that I deposited my daddy's money. The bank can prove that I've been spending it on bills. The bank can prove that I've made withdrawals and deposits and I've took care of everything that needs to be, paid the taxes and all that shit. The bank can prove all of that. But see, the bank won't open up their mouth. Manchester Police Station, Sheriff's Police Station, they know I went in there and paid the taxes. They know it. But they won't open up their damn mouths. They won't say anything. And I don't know why.
Well, they've got the record. You paid it. And
absolutely they do. But see, they won't say anything. They're letting Larry Frost run around here saying, I never paid no taxes. I never paid no bills. Instead of arresting his sorry ass.
Did you hear him say that?
Larry Frost? Fuck yeah. He not only said it to my face, he said it all over the internet. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. It's all over the damn place by now.
You want me to get on there and correct it?
That's what you're doing right now, sweetheart. Your word is going out right now.
If it's my money and your money.
It's our money, right. It's your retirement money.
My husband left me the money.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
What he had left of retirement.
Correct.
Went to Alice.
Well, it went to both of us, actually.
Well, he didn't have it put to you.
Right.
But I put it to you.
Right. Right. Anyway, the point is that it's our money. It does not belong to the Frosts, correct? It belongs to me and you. It's your retirement money. It's my inheritance money. It belongs to us. It does not belong to Larry Frost or Jim Frost or Ronnie Ray Frost or Joe Frost or any other Frost. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know the Joe Frost.
Joe Frost is the one that come the other day and gave you some milk, remember?
Some what?
Milk. Remember
Oh.
they come and give him milk? Anyway,
Yeah.
what?
This is what I mean, folks. She doesn't even remember the relative who came and brought her milk the other day. Let that sink in.
Anyway, the point is, though, it's not the Frost money. It's mine and your money, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Well, they're on
yours
the-
when I'm gone.
Yeah, see, she keeps coming back. It's yours when I'm gone. Vaughn, there is no inheritance. There is no daddy's inheritance. It's exactly what I said a month ago or whenever it was, a few weeks ago. It's her money. He just feels there's an entitlement to him, and that's how he rationalizes siphoning out of it. And he keeps trying to correct her. Well, it's our money. And she's like, well, it's mine. It's Alice's. It was left to me. And there she just said it's yours after I'm gone. So Vonhelton has no business sticking his fingers. See, this is what is so, it's funny, but almost frustrating at the same time, how stupid he is, because every time he makes these videos, he actually incriminates himself, right? He's actually just been proving points, like the accusations, the main ones that have been levied against him, he's actually been backing up with these videos. Anyways, we're almost done this one. This is, I think, the longest one of the three of the trio.
Well, but yeah, that's correct. Yeah, but they're claiming no, it don't belong to me. It don't belong to you. It belongs to the Frost family. That's their claim.
No.
I don't think any of them have actually claimed that her money is their money right now. See that again, nice spin, Vaughn, but that's blatantly a lie.
Oh, anything that was worked out when I worked in the shop and worked my
Yeah, let the woman eat that fucking thing on her plate. It's been like a half hour.
tail off don't belong to the Frost family. It belongs to me. I'm a Helton and a Frost, but I was a Helton when I worked it out.
Right.
And so the Frost factories and that knows that I done it when I was a Helton.
Exactly.
Some of that I done when I was a Frost, but that's in the family.
Well,
That's
I
me.
think, correct me if I'm wrong, but now when you worked at Whirlpool, you started as a Frost, but then you married Dad and become a Helton, correct? When you was at Whirlpool?
Well, I think we had already got married. I'm not.
Oh, you had already
sure.
got married. Okay.
I'm
All
not
right.
too sure, but I think we
Okay.
was.
Okay. All right. Well,
Because I had to be older to get into
to get the job, right.
to have a job like that.
Right. Yeah, because it was a factory job, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. All right. That'll do it. I just wanted to clear the air on this money thing because they're running around saying I'm stealing your money and that, I'm squandering your money on foolishness and all this and that. They said that the stuff I bought out in the garage, I spent on Jerry's money. Did I spend any of Jerry's money getting that stuff?
Not that I know of.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Your dad helped you.
Yes, he did before he gone. Yeah, before he was gone, he did. But yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm squandering Jerry's money and I'm squandering your money.
That, by the way, his dad died in 2006, so he definitely didn't help with Jerry.
And it's just,
Well, I don't even know where Jerry's money is.
Well, it's on his card. See, he's got one of them cards like you.
Oh, has he got a card?
Yeah.
Has he?
Yeah.
Has he got it?
No, he's a minor, so I have to hold on to it. for him.
Oh, okay. But you don't use it only when you're going to do something.
The only,
for him.
yeah, I've used it on like getting him clothes and toilet paper,
Now, wait for it here, folks. Wait for it.
and paper
Well,
towels.
now
and-
he needs stuff like that.
he does, right? Exactly. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they're sitting there. Oh, well, yeah.
Wait for it.
So and the few times that I did use Jerry's card,
Uh-huh.
all I had to do was replace the money. It wasn't.
Let's put that back a little bit.
Okay. But you don't use it only when you're going to do something.
The
for
only,
him.
yeah, I've used it on like getting him clothes and toilet paper and paper
Well,
towels.
now
and-
he needs stuff like that.
he does, right? Exactly. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they're sitting there. Oh, well, yeah, it's and the few times that I did use Jerry's card, all I had to do was replace the money. It wasn't
Uh-huh.
no big deal.
You-
So
Replace the money with what money? Replace the money with what money? One more time, folks.
Right, exactly. But
Let's go back here.
I don't even know where Jerry's money is.
well, it's on his card. See, he's got one of them cards like you.
Oh, has he got a card?
Yeah.
Has he?
Yeah.
Has he got it?
No, he's a minor, so I have to hold on to it.
Oh, okay. But you don't use it only when you're going to do something.
The only,
him.
yeah, I've used it on like getting him clothes and toilet paper and paper
Well,
towels.
now
and
he needs stuff like that.
he does, right? Exactly. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they're sitting there. Oh, well, yeah, it's you know, and the few times that I did use Jerry's card, all I had to do was replace the money. It wasn't no big deal.
With what money? You don't have an income. What fucking money are you? I like how he's like, well, I use it to buy Jerry like toilet paper and stuff. Well, I mean, and that's fine. That's what the money's for. But I mean, you're buying the family's toilet paper with that money. That's the sole income into your trailer. That and what you're siphoning from Ma. So what are you replacing the money with? If not money from Ma, if you're even replacing it. Again, that's none of my business, but I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, the guy incriminates himself like crazy. Well, it's not so much, it's not so much like literally replacing the money on the card. I can see what he's saying. Like I don't know how these cards work. I think you can only use them at certain places anyways. So I don't know how you borrow money from it. But let's say he somehow spends the money on something. I can see like using physical money to buy the things that you would have used the card for. So, you know, you're not literally putting the money back on the card. You're just replacing what you would have. But I don't, let's be clear, I don't think he does that. Like, I think that's just bullshit. I think just what he's saying is he eats off his kid's card and lives off it and supports his family with it. Like, there's no paying back because there's no income. Just like he did not buy the food from Ma's freezer. You know, Ma bought the food from Ma's freezer. Just to be clear.
So
what?
I replaced the money. It wasn't no big deal.
Why?
Because it was Jerry's money. I did borrow a couple times on his money, but I put it back, so it doesn't matter.
Oh.
It's all immaterial.
Well, if you used it, it was your son.
Yeah, it was my son.
I'm sure he wouldn't go to jail. You wouldn't go to jail with
No,
your son.
No, because it was important shit.
What is it with this family in jail and cops? And call the police, have them arrested, take them to court. That you can totally see where Vaughn gets it. Like everything she's brought up is like, well, go tell the police, go tell the court, lock them up, go to jail.
Anyway, it wasn't foolishness, you know. But they're saying stuff I put out in the garage. I used Jerry's money for that.
I thought your dad was here.
Well, Dad.
Okay, pay attention. His dad's been dead since 2006, folks.
I used Dad's money. Okay, I didn't use Jerry's money.
Which we've established is actually her money from her account. It's interesting because all this spending seems to correspond with the time, the 8 months, that he was supposedly looking after things, where the Frost claimed that he wasn't paying the phone bills or taking her to the doctor. It's just interesting that seems to correlate to the exact same time we've seen an upsurge in Vonhelton's die-cast spending. Interesting.
Use your money. I used Dad's money. Okay. But they're saying I used Jerry's money for that stuff out in the garage, and I didn't. But see, that's the claim. See,
I knew your dad was out there with you.
Well, that was years ago, though. But I'm talking about recently when I built the diorama. I'm not talking about years ago when
she has no idea what he's talking about.
Dad was here.
She probably doesn't even know that shit's out there. She probably like give him that wad of cash, that $3,000, do renovation and take the garbage away. And he used part of it to get them to build them tables and shit. Guaranteed that's what happened. I called that months ago.
But anyway, it's irrelevant. The point is that I didn't use Jerry's money. I didn't use your money. But they're claiming that I did. See, they're claiming that I'm using your money irresponsibly. And that's why we need the bank to step up and say, no, now he's been paying the bills. He's been a good steward of the money, because they're going to claim that I'm squandering it.
Well, he's got record. They've got records.
They've got records of every.
You don't spend my money.
Exactly. They've got records of everything that's transpired thus far, and that's what upsets me is that they're wanting to stay neutral. I understand why they want to stay neutral, but I wish they wouldn't. They're going to have to step up. They're going to have to step up and come clean. And you know, because they told me, the bank manager told me that Larry wasn't even allowed up there, that Jim is not allowed up there, and that you know, because of what they done, you know. So
Well, where would they go? Somewhere else?
yeah, they go to Farmers or PNC or Fifth Third
Well,
or something.
if they're doing wrong, I'm going to use that word. If they're doing wrong, they don't need to go to no bank and
Right.
do wrong. If they're lying on somebody else,
Well, if you'll recall, the bank manager told us that some of the checks from some of your checks were cashed out of state. Do you remember when the bank manager said that?
yeah,
Yeah, said some of your checks were cashed out of state. Okay, so who was doing that? Was that me that was doing that?
no,
In fact, I was with you the whole time, wasn't I?
yeah.
So it couldn't have been me that was cashing your checks. So who was cashing your checks out of state?
That'd be them then.
Absolutely.
Or if it ain't, I'll call them in, find out who's doing it.
Well, that's why the bank needs to step in, because the bank.
Why wouldn't you do that at the time? Why wouldn't you do it when you're sitting there with the bank? I mean, I'm just thinking, if I was having a meeting with the bank manager and they're like showing checks being cashed out of state, I mean, I would have looked into it right then, right? If there's truth to this story, or maybe Vonhelton is taking a little kernel of truth and planting it into a garden of lies. And his mom is just rolling with it because she can't even remember if her fucking husband is alive, or her parents, or the name of the relative who brought her milk.
Knows who cashed them checks out of state. They know it. And so we'll get it
Now,
took care of.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember going out of state and cashing no checks.
Not you. Somebody else did it.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't.
Oh yeah.
remember.
Oh, you mean when you had your checks? Yeah. I got you. Okay. Yeah. No, you didn't, as far as I know.
I
But
don't remember.
but anyway, I just wanted to clear the
She doesn't remember.
air with this, because that's the allegation, is that, you know, and Jim Frost, Larry Frost, Joe Frost, and Ronnie Ray Frost are telling everybody in Oneida that I'm stealing your money. They're telling everybody in Manchester that I'm stealing your money.
Well, are you going down there and taking it out?
No.
Well, how are you stealing it?
Well, good question. That's a good question.
If I wanted to take something from you, or who you're talking to, even, I wouldn't say that. If it's a steal,
Right. Well, the point is
She has no idea what she's trying to say.
it's wrong.
well, the point is, if you wanted something, you'd come to me and ask anyway.
Well,
right?
yeah, but what I'm saying, if I was taking something illegal,
Right.
you'd have the right to have me arrested.
Absolutely. So why isn't Larry Frost, Jim Frost, Ronnie Ray Frost, and Joe Frost in jail right?
Exactly. Why aren't you pursuing this legally? Because it's bullshit. Because you're manipulating your mother.
No.
Well, I don't know.
That's a good question, isn't it?
Well,
That's
maybe
a question
it
that needs
ain't
to be
bad
answered.
enough yet.
Maybe $6.5 million. Yeah, it's bad enough. Yes, it is bad enough. And they all need to be brought in and questioned, at least questioned. They don't want to even do that. Like I said, the police, Manchester Police, Sheriff's Office, Clay County Police, and the Kentucky State Police are all inept. Because if they weren't inept, all these people would be behind bars right now, or at least would have been taken in for questioning. And nobody has done jack shit.
Well, I can see questioning, yeah.
Nobody's done anything. Nobody has done a damn thing. And meanwhile, Jim Frost has got all new vehicles parked in a row out there, about 5 or 6 million new vehicles. Got all new buildings on his property. Where'd that shit all come from? Now, granted, he does.
That's none of my business.
That, Mom, you don't get that much stuff that quickly without having money, okay? And it.
Even Ma has had enough at this point. She's just like, I just want to eat this damn Danish. So I'm drink this and have a fucking Danish, for Christ's sake. Shut up.
Think the
Well, I
6,000.
don't know where he got it.
Well, he does get 6,000 a month, but even that isn't going to
If
buy
I
all
got
that shit.
$6,000 a month, I think I was rich.
Well, I would too. So why?
But wait, these are people that claim that they had over 2 million laying in their closet. And And now it's like, well, I got $6,000 a month. I think I was rich.
Does he want your money then? And remember when he was on the phone?
Look, she's eyeing up the couch. She's done with this. She just wants to go and sit down. She just wants to like sit down and watch her stories on the TV. She don't give a fuck.
Phone, he said, I ain't giving you nothing back. Remember that? Remember what he said that on the phone?
What were we talking about then?
He was talking about the money and let's see, was it the money? I think it was the money and some of the and the guns. I think it was money and guns.
Oh.
And remember, he said, I'm not only not giving you the money back, I'm not giving anything else back too, or something to that effect. He was on speakerphone, so everybody in the room heard him say it. That's the beauty of it. It isn't hearsay because he was on speakerphone and he didn't know it. So we got all that shit on blast. But yeah, sitting there telling you, you remember him saying that, saying I ain't giving you nothing back. Do you remember that one? Yeah. I'm glad you remember that one because that one's important.
Well,
that one's very important.
Finish eating that and let's work on paperwork.
Well, we're going to get this census thing done because we got to get that done. But anyway, I wanted to get this recorded and uploaded so that, you know, so that my reputation is not tarnished, and everybody gets to hear your words from you about this money situation. Okay. And yeah. I'll get this uploaded so that everybody can hear your side of the story, because they're only hearing Larry and Jim's and Joe's and Ronnie Ray's side right now. They're not hearing your side or my side. So that's why I'm doing this, so that you've got a chance to get your voice out there and let people hear your word. You know, now people are going to say that you're forgetful. People are going to say that you have dementia. If I was abusing you somehow, even you would know if I had squandered your money because me and you went to the bank. So, you know, they can scream dementia and abuse and forgetfulness.
Well, if she's suffering from dementia and forgetfulness, the fact that you took her to the bank means nothing.
I'm sick of hearing dementia and you refuse.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
I don't believe you. I don't believe you have dementia either. I do believe you have short-term memory loss, but I don't believe you have dementia.
I don't know about short memory.
I don't think it rises to the level of dementia, but do I?
Remember, once again, this is a 92-year-old woman who had to be reminded twice last video that her parents were dead. This is a woman that in this video is already implied that Vonhelton's father is still alive. He died in 2006, folks.
Do I think you have short-term memory loss? Oh, hell yes, you do, because I have to tell you things. But I don't think you have dementia. I don't believe it rises to that level. But it, you know, I'm not a doctor either. I was just an orderly, so I can't really say. But anyways, enough of that. I just wanted to get your words out there because Larry and Jim and Ronnie Ray and Joe and all of them's on the internet saying I'm squandering your money, and that's why they've got a hold of your Social Security card and your PIN number is because you told them.
No, I want them back.
I will say it again.
I want my cards, everything that belongs to me.
And they've also got your driver's license and your Social Security card too. Jim Frost has got that.
Well, it all needs to come back to me.
Well, see, Larry tried to have me arrested by Kentucky State Police, said that I had your driver's license, Social Security card, when they knew that Jim Frost was the one that had it. So why they called the cops on me, I have no idea. But I wanted to get that shit out of the way, too, because they tried to accuse me of stealing your damn driver's license and Social Security card. When they knew Jim had it, because Junior took it out of your purse. Junior took it out of your purse.
Isn't that interesting? So, by Von's own admission, out of all the accusations of theft and ill doings, the only side that has actually called the authorities and had them show up was the other side. Isn't that interesting? Huh.
Quite a bit of ways back. I forget how long ago, but it's been a while now. But yeah, they've had that for a long time. They've had your driver's license.
Why would I take it out of?
You didn't take it. Junior took it out of your purse. Why?
Oh, okay.
He claims you give him permission, but I don't believe that for a second.
to take my
Yep.
everything?
Yep. They claim they had permission. That's the claim, that they had permission. I don't believe that for one fucking second. But that's what they claim. Anyways, I'm dragging this thing out. I need to shorten it up. But anyway, but that's all there is to it, unless you have any other comments. But you want your Social Security card and your PIN number back?
Absolutely.
And you want your driver's license and your Social Security card back?
Absolutely. Today, if I can get it.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, it took me a long time to get all that stuff.
That's right. It took you years.
Didn't want nobody else to have it.
And when you get it back, who's in charge of your finances?
You.
Thank you. That's what I needed to hear. And that's what
you're going to have to put it in the bank.
I'm going to put it in the bank. Yeah, I'll have to give it to the bank because.
Yeah, the bank, which he means his account, which he established earlier. His account. That's what he means.
If I don't, they'll squander it just like they did everything else. All right, that's going to do it. Let me.
So just a quick recap for anybody who might be missing this or you're new to the story. Basically, before Ma started going, blah, 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 she had enough sense to put some of the Frosts in charge of her estate, like things like, you know, things that they're talking about, right? Vonhelton didn't like that. And even the menial things he was supposed to be looking after, he was neglecting, where then Larry Frost had to step in and make sure she was getting to the doctor and et cetera, et cetera. Vonhelton has taken it upon himself to go to court to fight for this back. This is a fact. Vonhelton is the only one that has a benefit from this narrative. And he has been convincing his mother, who can't even remember who the fuck brought her the milk a couple days ago, that they're all stealing money from her. Therefore, obviously, him being the good guy, the money should go back to him. He is blatantly manipulating her with bullshit so that he can drive her to whatever authority or put her on the stand and say, I want him to look after everything, because she's under the impression that everybody that she previously had put in charge, but she can't remember, have been rifling through her stuff and stealing millions of dollars, folks. Millions of dollars. This is what we're dealing with. All right, let's move along here. That, like I said, we are now an hour, 26 minutes, 27 minutes. We're just coming up to. These next two videos are a little shorter. We're getting caught up. But that video really bothers me. It's just it's so cringy and grimy and greasy. God damn it. But that's what's going on there. So let's move ahead to his next video. The Big 5-0, folks. This is where he has been right. 50 times. Man, 56 years old is bragging that he can point to 50 times in his whole life where he thinks he's been right. Of course, he hasn't been right. A lot of them he's been wrong on still. I have no idea what this one's even about. If you guys have watched it already and you know some timestamps that are good, or you think it's just whatever, we'll skim through it here. I'm just going to let it play for a sec. So we're changing gears here, folks. We're getting into an I'm Right number 50.
We'll be right back after these messages. Well, folks, here we are. The Big 5-0. The Big 5-0 has hit. It has landed. And here we are. The Big 5-0. And we're going to get into it and hot and heavy, because this obviously, the 50th I Was Right video. And before I do that, let me say, for those that may still not know or understand, I am not doing these I Was Right videos because I'm some kind of narcissistic idiot, okay? I'm not doing these to puff myself up or to give myself some kind of inflated ego. I'm doing this because literally in the last 20 to 25 years, not one person has ever made a video saying Vonhelton was right.
So he's not doing this, for himself. He's just doing it because no one else has. All right, just so we're clear. I gotta get a drink. I'll be right back.
Not one. Now they've said it in jest. There's a bunch of haters out there who may, yeah, Vonhelton was right. But then when you watch their video, yeah, Vonhelton was right about killing people and beating his wife and, mistreating his children or whatever flavor of the day. But it ain't never a real video saying that I was right about anything. Okay, so now 20 to 25 years, now fast forward to 2020. And here I am on the 50th I was right video. Not because I want to, but because nobody else will literally do it. Nobody. Okay. And so obviously I want to be able to, yes, I want to rub it in the face of the trolls and haters. Sure. Why not? I was right. They were wrong, and so sure. Why not rub it in their faces a little bit, but I'm not rubbing in the face of the average person that's watching. This is for people that are constantly telling me that I'm wrong and that, I've never been right about anything, because that was one of the big claims. And that's another reason why I do these videos, because one of the claims of my haters is, oh, well, Vonhelton was never right about anything. Well, I'm now on number 50 I was right video. So apparently I have been right about some things, huh? And so, bear in mind, I'm not doing this to puff myself up in any way or to self-aggrandize in any way. I'm doing this because literally nobody in the last 20 to 25 years has ever done a video saying, yeah, Vonhelton was right about something. Never. It's never happened. In the history of the fucking internet, no one has ever said in a video that I was right about something. So here we are. Now we're at number 50, a milestone, a legitimate milestone. Now I know somebody's going to peruse the website and say, well, where's the other, you're missing some of the, yeah, because unfortunately I had a hard drive crash for some of the older ones and I haven't been able to recover them, unfortunately. But, but yes, here we are, number 50, and it is a true milestone. And we're going to, I'm going to show you something and then we're going to discuss it. But it's a very key thing, and it's something that, if you're a longtime watcher of me, you'll remember me saying these things. You'll remember me discussing this very issue, because I'm going to bring up an issue that I discussed years ago, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember when you said that shit. So we're gonna discuss it hot and heavy. We're going to get into it nice and well. I was going to say something else, but I want to point out that the relevancy. Okay. And the timing even, because, me personally, I don't believe in coincidence. I believe that everything has a reason and a purpose, and the timing is interesting here. Okay. The timing is very interesting here, and I'll get into that later. But for right now, let's get into it. We'll be right back after these messages. Alrighty, here we are, and let me get a drink here. There we are, and we're going to play this because this actually happened live on French TV. I think it's French TV. It says C News up there, so I don't think that's American. Anyway, let's go on ahead and listen to it. Let me mute myself, and I'll let you listen to it.
Des gens qui sont nombreux, en particulier des Africains, et qui font des barbecues. Et quand les policiers arrivent, ils se révoltent, ils les frappent, etc. Ils hurlent. De toute façon, c'est une maladie de blanc, on est protégé par Allah. Et donc, il faut, je vous assure, je le tiens officiellement de policier, et non, il faut qu'ils mettent les casques, qu'ils les frappent, etc. Enfin, c'est incroyable.
Il y a eu
Donc,
des pépites au bois.
Alrighty, you heard it there, live, literally live. All right, people, the Muslims The Muslims are saying that.
So just so we have this clear, Vonhelton got this from some post of a live show of a white dude talking about he's heard about Africans that have said this in a certain instance. Let's just so we, just so we're putting this in perspective, right? Okay. Anyways, let's just keep going.
Allah will protect them from coronavirus, and that they don't need to be quarantined. They don't need any medication. They don't need anything. That Allah will protect them. It's a white man's race or disease. Okay. Well, the problem is that it didn't start in the white man. It started with the yellow man. Okay. So that's mistake number one. Number two.
Oh, Vaughn.
Is that even if it was a yellow man's disease or a white man's disease, that doesn't mean they ain't going to get it. What a stupid comment. Okay. But they're believing that they can just go out willy-nilly, walk anywhere they want, do anything they want because they ain't going to catch this. Well, now here's the problem. The problem is that coronavirus is an airborne virus.
Actually, it's not an airborne virus. I want to correct that. I know other than someone coughing directly into your face, into your mouth, yeah, okay, then it's transported air. But you're not going to get it through your fucking vents and your fucking... I just want to correct that before people go crazy. I've seen other people call it airborne. It's an airborne virus. No, technically it is not an airborne virus.
It is an airborne virus.
No, it's not.
So if you're in the vicinity of anyone that has it, you run the risk of catching it. Period. End of story. Okay, so these Muslims are in deep shit. Yeah, they are. They really are. All right, let me go on ahead and bring myself back up here. There we go. All right. So the Muslims are in deep shit because they don't realize, and it's not just the Muslims in France either, by the way. From what I'm being told, other Muslims believe this too. They believe that, Allah will protect them.
I believe I have to run that back, but I don't think he was talking about Muslims in France. They were talking about in Africa, weren't they? I'm going to put that wrong. Just in case I'm wrong, I just want to put that back.
Point out that the relevancy 5 years has ever done a video saying, yeah.
Too far.
This actually happened live.
Et des gens qui sont nombreux, en particulier des Africains, et qui font des barbecues. Et quand les policiers...
Okay, I stand corrected. He was talking about Africans. I guess people of African descent in France, possibly. I thought it was supposed to take place in Africa. And I was mistaken. I take that, or I stand corrected. Let's put it in a bit.
Okay, but they're believing that they can just... All right, let me go on ahead and bring myself back up here. There we go. All right. So the Muslims are in deep shit because they don't realize, and it's not just the Muslims in France either, by the way. From what I'm being told.
Well, that doesn't even... No, okay, first of all, that's not the Muslims in France. It's a hearsay story about a certain group of people having a barbecue or something stupid saying this. Supposedly. Like, we don't even know.
Other Muslims believe this too. They believe that, Allah will protect them.
Well, there's a lot of Christians believe that too, but I think it's kind of funny that even the Pope calls off fucking Easter to show you how much faith they have. And anyways, I digress. That's a different topic.
And that they have a right to take over Europe, and and because they're taking over Europe,
like Russia.
Protect them. Well, there's a problem. The first problem is that we now know, thanks to archaeological evidence, that their god Allah is actually a demon from ancient Mesopotamia by the name of Hubal. And Hubal really is one of those demons that craves human blood, that craves human sacrifice, child sacrifice even. It is not a joke.
Oh, you mean pagan, right, Vaughn?
It is not a game. Okay. And we know this through archaeological evidence. Okay. So it's not for dispute. All right. There's no disputing this. We have actual archaeological.
Of course, Vaughn, in the years he's professed these, and he's kind of right about some of it, but he's just so wrong in his interpretation. Surprise. But he always says, like, there's evidence, there's scrolls, but he'll never actually cite it, right? Because he just saw this shit in a YouTube video. He can't remember.
evidence that clearly states that yes, Allah is indeed Hubal. Hell, the Kaaba, the very Kaaba that the Muslims walk around, what is it, 7 times? I think they gotta walk around the Kaaba 7 times or some shit like that. The very Kaaba that they walk around, the Muslims, is a pagan temple. It is a pagan temple. And inside that pagan temple is, guess who? A big statue of Hubal. There's also a big black ball. It's black now because they have to kiss it. All right. Well, where's that? That supposedly it's a rock from the moon. Okay. Well, who does the moon symbolize? Oh, yeah, Hubal. Okay. So, yes, they are literally worshiping a demon. That's why I got a chuckle when the Muslims over in the Middle East kept calling America the Great Satan. Because they do. That's what they call us, the Great Satan. Okay. And you're allowing Muslims in the country, President Trump, and them over there calling us the Great Satan. All Muslims need to be deported immediately. They're over there calling us the Great Satan, President Trump. I'm not making that up. All right. That's not a feint on my part. Okay. They really do hate us. All Muslims hate America, and they have from time immemorial.
They hate it so much that they want to move over and start a life. They hate America so much that they're willing to move their family and everything over just to take over. Wow.
Because they declared a fatwa on us in 1776.
Oh, my God.
Jefferson can tell you about that if he was here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we went to war over Islam, and not radical Islam either. Islam. Okay, there is no such thing as radical and moderate. The Quran does not break up like that. All right, you're either a Muslim or you're not. There is no such thing as radical and non-radical or moderate or any of that crap. Okay. And what does it say in the Quran? It says, lie in wait till you have sufficient numbers and rise up and take that country for Islam. That's what it says. There's no disputing it. All right, because it said it over several times, over and over again. Okay, but anyways, side issue. The point is that the Muslims believe that they will be protected because it's their goal to take over the West, which that is one of the things that the Quran tells them to do. I'll give them that. It does tell them to do that shit. But that doesn't mean Allah is going to protect them, okay? Because Allah is a demon. He don't give a damn whether you die in his service or whether you die any other.
I still fail to see what Vaughn was right about. I mean, what he was claiming that Muslims were what? I mean, he's spouting his opinion, but I don't know what he said in the past. Maybe I missed that when I went to get a drink or something, but I don't really see what he was right about. Am I missing it?
Way. As long as he gets that human blood, as long as he gets that human sacrifice, he'll be happy as a clam. You know, so go out there and cut your little baby's heads some more so it'll bleed in homage to this demon named Hubal. Anyway, point being, that's what they believe, though. They believe that they're immune, and they're not. And now you say, well, why are you calling this an I was right video? What has that got to do with you being right?
Well, exactly.
Well, I've always been right about the Quran. I've always been right about that. But that's not the issue. Because those of you that have watched me for years will remember, you'll remember me saying that Islam being in the West is a means to an end for the elite families. See,
whoa, did we just like totally change tracks here? Because I don't remember him talking about any of this yet. I think this is a bit of a stretch even for Vaughn here, folks.
The elite families have to weaken the West in order to be able to take over the whole world. And they're using Islam to accomplish that goal. And then if you'll recall, I remember I said,
well, what? How does this have to do with them rejecting? Oh, fuck. Anyways, let's just let him explain. I should know, and I've always warned against, don't try to figure this stuff out. You'll get lost in the shit abyss. But I'm just trying to connect the dots here, folks.
Now, the elite families are going to have to figure out a way to get rid of all these Muslims. Because otherwise, the Muslims will turn on them, right?
Oh, so they convince them that they can't catch the coronavirus, and then the coronavirus will kill all the Muslims. The only thing is the Muslims haven't achieved their first goal yet. So why would they release the coronavirus? COVID-19.
Yes. Okay, and they can't set up their one world government, their one world religion, or any of that shit unless they kill all the Muslims. Well, now, how are you going to kill all the Muslims? Well, I said, if you'll recall, that they might come out with some kind of specialized bioweapon that would wipe them out.
Well, this isn't very specialized because it's wiping out more of the Western countries than it are. Anyways.
And if you recall, I said that, that's probably the only way I could think of doing it. Because they're going to have to get rid of them. They got to, or they ain't going to be able to establish a one world government and a one world religion. Okay, so they're going to have to. So what are they going to do? Well, a bioweapon was the only thing I could think of. Well, here comes coronavirus. And the Muslims are.
And just to be clear, I know I called it the coronavirus too. Coronavirus obviously is a family of viruses, right? It's COVID-19 is specifically what we're dealing with here, not just the coronavirus. Along comes coronavirus.
Saying we're not going to protect ourselves. We're not going to do shit. We're going to just go out here and have barbecues. You heard the man. They're out there having barbecues.
Again, there's no evidence this story even happened. Or the actual context of the story. It's just a clip Vaughn found on the internet of some dude in French on a show talking about what he heard about.
And
that's good enough for Vaughn.
It could very well be, I can't say 100%, but it could very well be that the coronavirus is going to be utilized to do exactly that, to wipe out the Muslims here in America, the Muslims in Europe, Muslims in the Philippines.
And everybody else along with it. I mean, what a completely inefficient bioweapon for focusing on a specific group of people. And it's not even like 80% of them that would contract it wouldn't die anyways. If we just look at stats across the board anyways, I take it seriously, but let's be honest, folks, the mortality rate, though staggering compared to the numbers of people that get it. I'm just saying it's serious, but if it was like an actual bioweapon released, it's really inefficient. Like they have more efficient bioweapons now that they could use for this purpose. Just throwing that out there.
Muslims are trying to take over the whole world, guys. Okay, they are. They're in the Philippines right now. They're in Europe right now. They're in America right now. They're in South America right now.
It's like white people.
The Muslims even tried to start shit in China. You know what the Chinese did? Yeah, they rounded them up and they slaughtered them in cold blood. Sure did. That's murder. No, it ain't. Not if they're an invading army. It ain't. When they're invading your country to take over your country, that is not murder. No, that is self-defense.
This is when Vaughn is on his soapbox here. You guys remember that? I have the video on my channel where I did a live reaction, Shoot 'em yourself, where Vaughn wants it to be legislated that you can shoot a Muslim on sight if you think he might be a terrorist.
Get it right. And you know me, I'm vehemently anti-communist, but the Chinese government was right. Those people were there to take over their country, and they were well within their right to kill them. Sorry about your luck. Anyways, side issue again. The point is that it could be, I can't say 100%, but I'm doing this video because there's a good probability that it could be that the coronavirus could be what they utilize to wipe out Muslims all over the world. Because like I said, the French Muslims are not the only Muslims saying this. There's Muslims in the Philippines saying it. There's Muslims here in America saying it. There's Muslims everywhere saying, yeah, but Allah will protect us. We don't have to worry about that. It's a white man's disease. Well, it's not. It's not even a white man's disease.
I'm not aware of mass groups of Muslims around the world saying that. I mean, I'm not denying it. Maybe some have, but I mean, I don't really think it's a thing that I know of.
The yellow man's disease.
If it is, they're idiots.
Asians are yellow-skinned people, okay? And no, that's not racist, by the way. I don't know where the hell you guys, I mean, you got to be able to identify race, okay? So no, it's not racist. They're racist for calling it a white man's disease. But anyway, but you notice nobody says shit about that, right? Anyway, the point is, no, it's not a white man's disease. It's a yellow man's disease. And speaking of the coronavirus, while I've got you, we arrested an American and we arrested 2 Chinese nationals working in a lab just prior to this outbreak. Isn't that interesting? Wonder what that's all about. Now, did they come out and say that these guys were the ones that created it? No. But is it possible that
Yes, the phrase in cold blood is usually reserved for murder. You're right.
they might have been? Yes. Yes, it is. So we'll see how that develops. But, you know, and if you recall, I said, hey, these diseases are created in a lab. Remember me saying that shit too? Okay, well, now here we've arrested 3 scientists, 1 American and 2 Chinese nationals. Okay, and they were in a lab and they were cooking up shit. Okay, so there you go. All right. Anyways, but I did want to get this out there because it could very well be that coronavirus is the tool that they will use to make the Muslim population disappear. Very well could be. Now, is it? I don't know. I don't know. But I know if they're out there having barbecues and they ain't got their mouth covered or their hands covered, then they're just idiots. Because this is an airborne disease, and France has got it really bad. Okay, it's not like, you know, I'm out here in the boonies, you know, very few people, very, you know, fresh air, sunshine, you know, doubtful we've got any cases of coronavirus. But, you know, the point is that, you know, no, if you know your area has coronavirus, then you need to wear a mask, you need to wear gloves, because this stuff, while it might not be a very big killer, it is highly contagious, very, very contagious, and who knows how it will respond to different people. You know, we know that that if you have a weakened immune system, you're as good as dead. Okay, we already know that shit. That's not a question. So who knows? We'll see. But I thought it interesting that I told you years ago that the elite will probably use some kind of a bioweapon to wipe out the Muslims, because they have to. They have to get rid of Islam in order to set up a one world government and one world religion. Why? Because the Muslims will fight them if they don't, right? Okay, so it's time for the puppets to go bye-bye, perhaps. At least that's what I'm thinking. That's what it's looking like, even, you know, because you know, we got stuff like this. And so there we are. In a nutshell, I was right once again, because the Muslims are literally falling right into this trap. Hook, line, and sinker. They're literally just falling right into it. So we'll see what develops. I can't say 100% this is what's going to happen, but it looks like it could be.
So this is an I'm right 50 video on something that he's ending with saying, well, I don't know if this will happen. Something that hasn't even happened, that he hasn't even substantiated at all with any kind of actual evidence other than his opinion. And now he's ending with, well, I don't know if this is actually even going to happen or not. But so this really isn't an I'm right 50 video. This is, I have a crazy theory that might pan out months down the line, but who knows? I'm not even sure. Gotcha.
After seeing something like this, it very well could be. So we'll see what develops. So stay tuned, stay alert, keep your head on a swivel, wear a mask, wear gloves, and you know, take care. You have a pleasant day and a better tomorrow.
You probably can't get masks because your great leader Trump has. Anyways, not getting into that. Let's move ahead. So that is setting up the next video, I'm sure, because the next video is where he gets down to the nitty gritty. Vonhelton is going to tell you the truth about COVID-19. Again, a total disclaimer. Anybody just joining? Excuse me, pardon me. If you're just getting here, the information you are about to hear, I haven't watched this yet, but I will bet you 10,000 internet points. Please do not follow any of this advice you're about to hear. The opinions expressed in this next video clip are not held by the video streamer host, i.e. me. These are not my opinions. I'm just bringing you the news, folks, but seriously, if you're getting medical advice from Vonhelton, you got bigger problems than I can help you with. That's all I can say. Let's get into it.
We'll be right back after these messages. Alrighty. It's my turn to do a coronavirus video.
Oh, he must be serious on this one, folks. He slicked the hair back. He took a little extra time here. A little fucking brow cream or a little fucking chop grease he fucking put in her. Fucking the beard's on a wicked slant, though.
Because to date, no
He's going to have to start tugging with the other hand to even it out.
one has got this shit right. So, like it or not, I guess it's my turn. I'm gonna have to educate you guys on what the hell was going on just prior to the coronavirus outbreak. Once you realize what was going on, then you understand why the virus had to be created, and then you understand who created it, and then you understand, we may not fully understand how it got loose to the general public, but we have a better understanding of how it got created, why it was created, what happened, et cetera, et cetera. So to date, as far as I know, no one has got this shit right. So I'm going to give you my version of it.
No one's got it right because it doesn't agree with his fucking twisted comic book version of reality. His opinion, folks.
Which, as far as I know, is accurate. And then,
as far as he knows.
And then if more information comes along, then I can amend my comments and maybe even tack on an amendment to this video. But for sure and for certain, it is important to understand that, nobody's got it right so far. Everybody's got it wrong. Okay. And so we're gonna flesh this thing out a little bit. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I want everybody to start a rumor that Vonhelton is now a Bernie Sanders supporter, and that's why he has the dove on his microphone. Repeat, Vonhelton is a Bernie Sanders supporter.
We'll be right back after these messages. All right. All right, good people. All right. Got me a fresh Mountain Dew. And we're going to sit down here and we're going to talk about this. Because, like I said in my opening monologue, to date, no one has gotten this shit right. No one's got it right. So I'm going to enlighten you as to what is going on. Now, to understand why the coronavirus exists, we have to go back in time. Back in, what was it, January, I think it was December, January, and find out what was going on. Well, Jeevan, what was going on in December and January? There was major democratic protests in China, huge ones, much, much larger than it had ever been before. You think Tank Man was a big deal? That was nothing compared to what was getting ready to go down. Now remember, the Chinese had already gassed and killed several 100,000 pro-democracy students. All right, they'd already killed them. They slaughtered them at Tiananmen Square, remember? Of course, the Chinese government won't let anybody know about that in China, sadly. You would try to mention Tank Man to someone on the internet that's Chinese, be like, who the hell's that? They don't know. Okay, China literally kept that information from them. They literally kept them in the dark about thousands of their fellow Chinese being slaughtered by their own government. Putting that aside, though, the what was getting ready to go down in December or January was going to be on a scale 10 times the size of Tank Man and Tiananmen Square. I mean, massive. It was going to be massive. Instead of tens of thousands, it would be hundreds of thousands. Instead of hundreds of thousands, it would be millions. Okay? That order of magnitude. Okay? And the Chinese government realized they had a major fucking problem on their hands, didn't they? Yeah, they did. All right, so it's like, okay, well, what the fuck do we do? Do we go out there and slaughter them again? No, we can't do that. America's watching. Because now America's watching, thanks to Trump. You know, hey, all you Trump haters out there, Trump at least kept the Chinese people alive because they know Trump's watching. And so they can't go out there and slaughter millions of their own people. They can't do it. So what the fuck do they do? We'll hire an American scientist to work with our Chinese scientists to create a virus that is not necessarily lethal, but will make people so sick that they have to go home and disperse. Right? Yeah. Okay, so that's exactly what happened. And I have an article where we did, in fact, arrest an American national and 2 Chinese nationals. All 3 of our scientists. All 3 were cooking something in a lab and were caught. Now, did the article actually come out and say these were the motherfuckers that created Corona? Well, of course not, because that would make sense, right? We're not about to make sense, okay? That would actually, no, we can't do that shit. Okay, so, but anyway, enough said about that. But I mean, if you do enough digging, you'll find the article. I don't have it with.
Of course, he couldn't present the article. He couldn't be bothered with his bombshell fucking evidence, right? That no one else seems to know. And even though he admits that the article doesn't completely jive with his conclusions, it's obvious because the article's lying. The very article that he's citing to back up his theory doesn't agree with him, so he accuses them of lying to cover it up, which would make the article, of course, invalid to use as a source of evidence. Hope you're all following along.
With me. This is just me and you, okay? This is me and you talking here. All right. But yeah, man, we did. We arrested an American and 2 Chinese nationals who were in a lab cooking up shit. That's documented. Saw that shit on Gab. You won't find that shit on Twitter, I bet, though, will you, motherfuckers? No, you won't. Because we got to protect the coronavirus, by God. Isn't that right? Yeah, hell yeah. Anyways, the point is that, everybody's got it wrong, man. This is one time when I can say that the elites probably are not even involved in it, at least at this point. No, they're not. This is something the Chinese government did, because the Chinese government knew they were fucked if this democracy thing happened like it was supposed to happen, because we're talking potentially millions of people, folks. Okay. Remember, China can field a 200 million man army. That's fucking huge. Okay. And this democracy movement was going to be estimated in the millions of people. Too many people, even for the Chinese government, most likely. So what do? Well, you put out a bug, make them all sick, make them go home. Now, unfortunately, it has killed.
Yeah, so I would just like to, Lusty, that's actually a good grab. But I'd like to point that out as well. This completely contradicts his I Was Right number 50 video, where he said it was the elites who were using a bioweapon targeted at the Muslims. But now he's saying the elite had nothing to do with it. It was the Chinese government releasing this virus on its own people because they wanted to disperse them in fear of these mass protests. So I Was Right 50, by Von's own admission, is deleted. It's wiped. It is invalid. Well, it was anyways, but I'm just saying.
Some people, but I honestly don't believe that was coronavirus's intent. I believe its intent was to make people bad sick, send their ass home, and prevent this democracy movement from really, really going strong, which is what it was prepared to do. I mean, we could have seen a democratic China if they hadn't have put out this bioweapon. Seriously. I absolutely believe that shit, because like I said, this democracy movement was going to be huge. Trump was going to see it. All the democratic countries were going to see it, because they wouldn't have been able to have hit it. And
Trump don't give a shit about their fucking protests and the human rights. He is the last. I'm sorry, whether you're a supporter or not. He just, let's be honest, he don't give a fuck. I mean, this idea that China's not doing things because, you know, they're not treating their people a certain way because Trump is watching is fantasy. No one's buying that. No one. China don't give a fuck, and Trump don't give a fuck.
And if Trump sees it, that's one thing they didn't want to happen. They did not want Trump to see this massive pro-democracy movement happen in China, because it would literally be in the millions of people. Okay. And I mean, even hardcore leftists would be like, holy shit, that's a lot of people, you know? And so, I mean, you know, this was going to be massive. And the Chinese government, you know, what the fuck do? We can't go out there and slaughter them again like we did at Tiananmen Square, because Trump is watching us, which he was, and he is, and he still is. Okay, so we can't do that. What the fuck are we going to do? Well, we'll put out a bug. We'll put out a virus, make everybody bad sick, and squelch the pro-democracy movement before it gets a chance to really get a foothold. And that's exactly what they fucking did. You know, and I know a lot of you are just gobsmacked that I ain't laying this at the feet of Rothschild and Rockefeller. Well, it ain't their baby. Not this time. No, this time it's the Chinese government. It is.
So again, his I Am Right 50 video is null and void. Just saying.
It's the Chinese government this time. It is their baby.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they did this shit because they knew that they was about ready to. I'm telling you that I absolutely believe this would have been a regime change event. I absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe it, because it was going to be massive, dude. And the Chinese government didn't know what the fuck to do, so they put a bug out. Oop, didn't mean to do that. But yeah, they put a bug out. And so that's what happened, and that's where we're at. And of course, you know, you got Americans that are going back and forth everywhere, and you got Italians going back and forth everywhere, and, you know, what have you. And, you know, like I said, I don't believe it was intended to be deadly. However, if you have a low immune system, if you have respiratory problems, okay, that's very important, because it goes after your respiratory system. That's why you got all these people hollering for ventilators. We need ventilators. We need masks. We need ventilators. We need masks. We need Why? Because it's airborne. It's an airborne bug. Okay. They're saying you need to stay.
No, they don't need ventilators because it's an airborne disease. They need ventilators because because what you started out saying, it's a respiratory condition. They need fucking respiratory support. You know, it's for victims that are having trouble breathing. It's got nothing to do with fucking it being airborne. Like, how can a guy start out right and then, like, that's how much of a fail he is. Even when he starts out with a valid actual point, he ends the sentence by being so wrong. It's actually quite amazing to watch. It's like poetry in motion. It's like fail poetry.
6 feet from the guy that's got it. Well, now, wait a minute. It's airborne. It ain't going to matter how far away you are from the fucker.
It's not airborne.
You're going to get it because it's floating around in the air. Hello?
No, they're practicing social distancing because it's through direct contact. Again, unless someone coughs or directly sneezes in your face, that's the only way you're going to catch it airborne. It's just like you see these like countries are out like spraying the streets and the trees and the fucking. That's all great and everything, but I mean, this disease, as far as we can tell, or this virus, I should say, it doesn't linger on the sidewalk. It's not drifting through the air or through the air vents, right? That's fear mongering. That's just like adding bullshit, another layer of bullshit for people to worry about. That doesn't have to. You know, they're not asking for masks and ventilators because it's airborne. In fact, you wearing a mask does little to protect yourself. It's only really good if you're already infected and you don't, or you think you might be, and you don't want to risk spreading it to other people, or possibly keep you from touching your nose and your, you know, mouth. But unless you actually have a respirator, like an actual fucking heavy duty, one of those whatever fucking like heavy duty professional jobs, you ain't doing a whole lot. Yeah. Mostly because it's not an airborne fucking virus.
But whatever. Anyway, the point is, if you have a low immune system or if you have respiratory trouble, yeah, you're dead. I mean, yeah, I hate to be blunt about it, but it's true. You're dead. If you're a very, very small infant, like a pre-toddler or even maybe a toddler, you are dead. Okay, because their little lungs are not strong enough and their immune system is not strong enough to fight a bug like this. Okay. But if you are a 20-something, 30-something, 40-something adult, you should be okay. And you're healthy. You should be okay. All right. You should, you'll probably get sick. You'll probably be down for a while. You might need a breathing apparatus. I don't know. It depends. You might just need some oxygen. I don't know. But for the average healthy adult, it probably isn't going to do much to you except put you down for maybe a few weeks. And that's it. That's it. Because like I said, I do not believe that it was originally intended to be deadly. I really don't. But that's where we're at with the COVID.
Based on the evidence that Vaughn has stringently researched, that he's went through article by article, piece by piece, interview down in his Kentucky trailer basement research lab, he's come to the conclusion that this was not meant to hurt people.
COVID-19, all right, the coronavirus. That's where we're at.
It's not the coronavirus. Fuck off.
This is what I know, because
what he knows, but he can't remember what article it was to post it. If you do the digging, you'll find it.
I've been following China very carefully. I've been watching them very carefully because
from his single wide in the hills of Kentucky in his mom's backyard, he's been watching China.
As some of you are aware, my father's brother defended China from Japan during World War II. How's that for a switch, huh? But yeah, he did. My father's brother worked with the Flying Tigers for real. I don't know what he did. I think he was just a mechanic, maybe even just a fucking gopher. Who knows? But see, the Flying Tigers were volunteers, okay? They weren't actually sanctioned to be there by the American government. They volunteered. Okay, so my father's brother volunteered to go there and defend the Chinese. So you could say that the Chinese kind of owe me a little bit. Because
wow,
my father's brother gave his life to defend the Chinese during World War II. That is not in dispute, folks. That is a fact. So the Chinese kind of owe me. They do. They kind of owe me. And so I've been watching with great intent. I hear President Xi, we're slowly going towards democracy. Okay, good. But, with all these huge pro-democracy things going on, probably not fast enough, probably not enough to convince people, maybe even. And somebody's saying to me that Vietnam is actually more pro-democracy than China is right now. And Vietnam, as you well know, we had a war in Vietnam, and Vietnam was vehemently communist. General Giap and all them guys. And, according to what I'm hearing, Vietnam is even more democratic and more open to capitalism and freedom and shit like that than even the Chinese are. How you like them apples, folks? Isn't that crazy? And even Kim Jong-un, believe it or not, even Kim Jong-un is looking at capitalism like, okay, that's where the money is in capitalism. Now, does that mean anything? No, not that I know of.
It's not necessarily, I'm not knocking capitalism and promoting communism or anything, but I mean, let's be real, a big part of it is sanctions against them, is a big problem that that they have as a country of being in poverty. But even that said, I will say the people still would suffer. It wouldn't matter. It would just be the fucking armies getting built up and shit. I will give it that.
But is he looking at it? Yes, he is, according to what I'm being told. Is capitalism perfect? No, but it's a hell of a lot better than communism. Okay, because communism make you broke. It just will. Okay, it'll make you fucking broke. Okay, And they don't want to be broke. Kim Jong-un don't want to be broke. Chairman Xi don't want to be broke. Now these motherfuckers want to be broke. And so they're looking at it, now whether they go full-blown capitalism and full-blown freedom for their people, I don't know. I'm not one to say that. But are they looking at it? Yeah, supposedly. Supposedly they are. I mean, look at the changes Russia has made in our post-perestroika and glasnost environment. The Russian people seem to be enjoying a lot more freedom than they used to have. So, hey, that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Freedom is where it's at, okay? That's where it's at. But I want to stress that, in the strongest of terms, that I do not believe that the coronavirus was initially put out there to kill anyone. I think it was just to make everybody sick and to cause the crowds to disperse and to prevent this humongous democratic move within the government or within China itself. I don't believe it was meant to kill. I don't. Now somebody would say, well, maybe it mutated. Okay, maybe it did. I don't know. Maybe it did. I'm not there, right? Maybe it has mutated somewhat. Who knows? But in any event, we've got it now. Now, is the Chinese government going to admit to this shit? Probably not. Probably not. They probably believe they've got Trump boloed, and they might have. They might believe that they have the Western countries boloed on this matter, and maybe they do. But, that's my understanding as I know it right now. And like I said, this is easily verified. You can just, go back to December, go back to January, December, and, look to see what was getting ready to happen. There was going to be this humongous democracy movement in China. And, well, we can't have that, boys and girls. And so spray the mist out there and just, everybody gets sick and they go back home, right? All right, so that's it in a nutshell as far as I know right now. And like I said, if I get more information, great. If I get something that, maybe takes us in a different direction, that's fine too. But that's what I know at the moment. And like all good things, it's subject to change as we get more information. But that's where we stand right now. Okay? So, everybody, stay safe. Put gloves on. Put a mask on. If you're going to go outside. It is an airborne bug.
It is not an airborne bug.
Okay? You need a mask. You need gloves. It is not a deadly bug because it's only killed like 1,000 people, whereas a regular flu's already killed like 60,000 Americans.
Whoa, he just made this video, didn't he? I'm pretty sure this is like a new video he just put out. He thinks this has only killed 1,000 people? What, in his state? That's Vonhelton. He's on top of the news, folks. He's breaking it to you first. He's so researched into this, he thinks there's only been 1,000 deaths. What?
Okay, so it's not a killer.
It's not, it's not friendly.
In the capacity of the flu is, because the flu's, like I said, 60,000 Americans, okay? And COVID's...
Doesn't he know that his hero Trump just finally admitted yesterday that best case scenario is 100 to 200,000 people will die? And that's just assuming that everyone follows precautions. I mean, there are states with governors that still think that it's all hoo-ha. That's how out of touch. That's why you can never take. Anyways, I'm not going to digress into the whole thing here. Let's keep watching.
Only killed 1,000 Americans. Okay, so it's virtually nothing compared to what the flu has done. But it is extremely contagious. I mean, I'm telling you, man, you get anywhere near this thing, you got it. okay? Because it's airborne, and wear your gloves. I've got to, it's funny because if you all remember, I went and bought a box of plastic gloves and I bought those masks. Now I did that for painting my little race cars, right? My little cars and shit, right? I did that to paint my cars and stuff. But it turns out that there might have been a secondary reason for having this shit, right? Yeah. So now I've already got the mask. I've already got the gloves. I'm good to go, right? So it's amazing how stuff like that pans out, isn't it? How everything.
Hey, geez, Vonhelton, just a tip. It's better than wearing face masks and gloves. Actually washing your hands. That's really the best thing you can do.
Just falls right into place. But it's an interesting little correlation there, because I was just thinking about that the other day. It's like, now I know, it's like a light bulb going off over your head, it's like, holy shit, now I know. I got the mask and I got the gloves. I'm good to go. I was good to go before I even got here. It's amazing how that works, though, right? But anyways, that's where we stand as far as COVID-19, the coronavirus. And if I get anything more, I may do an addendum. I don't know. We'll see. I am kind of bummed that this huge mega democratic movement wasn't allowed to take off in China, because I'm telling you, I really believe it could have been a regime change level event. I really do. I really do. I think it could have been. I think that Xi might have been forced to capitulate to the people of China. And obviously he didn't want to do that. So, hey, let's throw a bug out there, make them all sick as a dog, make them all go back home. Right? Yeah. But that's where we're at. All right. So, y'all have a pleasant day and a better tomorrow. Bye.
Goodbye, Von.
We'll be right back after these messages.
I'll let him take the outro, folks. Serious.
Bye-bye, Boo Bear.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
I still love the fact that he just refuses to remove the junk. You know what I'm saying? Oh, geez. Again, folks, please do not follow any advice from Vonhelton. Again, this is not, to the best of my knowledge, it is not thought to be an airborne virus. Be safe, though. Take it serious. But, yeah, so there we go, folks. For all you thirsty Vonhelton lovers, we got our mitts full tonight. I'm glad I was able to throw that together at least. Do a little run through, a little catch up. But still, the most disturbing to me was the manipulating the mom. I mean, all that. I mean, Von's an asshat. We all know he's a fucking idiot and says stupid stuff. But I don't know. That really bothers me watching that. Don't find that funny at all. But we'll see how that all plays out. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We'll see what we can do to kill this time together. It's going to be a while. See what we can cook up for next week. I think I'm going to go over and maybe hang out in Discord. I'll probably be over there in about 10 or 15 minutes if anyone wants to come over. I can't remember if I posted the link in the description or not, but if you want to be there, you're probably already there. But other than that, I'm going to call her quits. Thank you, Lusty, for posting that link. I'm going to call her for tonight, and I want to once again thank you very much for everybody showing up, having some fun. And we'll be back on that horse next week. So until then, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.